So just the other night, I was scrolling through a part of my camera roll and Snapchat memories when I end up seeing a lot of pictures and videos that kind of take me back to my college years. That's when it hit me fairly hard. I really overlooked and took those years for granted. To quote Andy Bernard from the last episode of The Office, I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. This quote always hit me in the feels, but if I'm being completely honest, it hit me even harder the other night when I was looking back at all these memories. I would spend this video going through the pics and short videos I do have, but for the privacy of others as well as just wanting to keep those for myself, that's not what I'll be doing today. So I apologize if that's what you're expecting, but that's not what this video is going to be. Truth be told, I don't have that many photos or videos from my college days anyways, and the ones that I do have more than likely only make up about 5 to 10% of the memories I made during that time. But if that 5 to 10% can still get me the feeling the way I am, you know for a fact I had a pretty great time during that 3.5 years. Now to be clear, I don't want you guys to get the impression that I'm still living in the past and I believe all my good days are behind me. I promise I'm not an Uncle Rico. You know, Coach would have put me in fourth quarter. We would have won in state, no doubt in my mind. But I'm remaining very optimistic for the future, and I truly hold out hope that all my best days are still to come. If not, that's a bummer. But this really isn't a video for me to cry about all my good memories having come and gone, but rather a video for me to reflect on and celebrate all the things that happened during this special 4-year window in my life. We all know that words, albeit powerful, can also only paint a fraction of a picture that one person sees. If I could plug myself into a machine and share with y'all a well-edited compilation of my memories of this time, I would. But that's just frankly not possible. It's crazy to think about that both high school and college are two very similar yet completely different time periods in our lives. Both last around the same amount of time on average, that being around 4 years. Both come with their fair share of challenges and difficulties, new friends, new fun times, wild memories, and so much more. But in my experience, however, high school felt like it was never going to end, and I was just trapped there for the rest of my existence, whereas college went by in the blink of an eye. I was there and then I wasn't. So I don't mean for this to be a complete diss on my high school years. I made plenty of good memories, lifelong friends there, but in all honesty, you know, later on in my life in the future when I hit my midlife crisis and I look back and think of the quote-unquote good old days, it's definitely going to be my college years that I'm looking back at. Now think back with me just here for 1 second here. Do y'all remember that time before you started high school and you were warned about cliques? These cliques or social divisions are something that are displayed in almost every form of media that covers the school life experience. And although they're usually shown in those as being very stereotypical, depending on what you're watching, they are very much a real thing. I'm not going to pretend like cliques don't exist in college, but I will 100% say that their walls are way weaker. In high school, cliques form as a way of telling you where you belong and where you don't belong. They're dividers set in place to keep people apart from one another. Interact with these people and don't think about even trying to interact with those people. In college, it's way different. Sure, there are distinguishable cliques, but college kids seem more mature and are more personable to not let these simple social barriers stop them from interacting with others. From my personal experience, people don't really care if you have different interests or personal lives from them. They see you more as a human than anything. Most college kids just want someone chill and vibey to hang out with. You could have been the captain of the football team or the founder of the D&D club in high school. Honestly, by the time you reach college, those two types of people will be the ones you see at a party cracking open a cold one and smoking doobies with each other over in the corner. I personally found it very hard to sell myself and make a lot of friends in high school. I am an extremely introverted person and I'm very socially awkward, and that's a huge hindrance when it comes to building any sort of social life for me. At college, however, people approached me, strangers, anyone from a completely different town, a completely different background. It didn't matter. They took an interest in getting to know me and actively sought me out. This simple difference made building any kind of social life a million times easier. I can do the answer part of Q&A any day of the week, and in college I was actually given that chance. What about the negatives though? Just like anything in life, college isn't all roses. I think it goes without saying that pursuing post-high school education is not cheap at all, especially if you go to a larger public university like I did. Now you're more likely to have a lot more awesome experiences at these larger schools, but you're also going to go into like 10 times the amount of debt that you would if you were to go to like a trade school or a community college or whatever. The only way out of this would be come from a very wealthier family who promises to cover all your expenses, which I am not, or to be the next Albert Einstein or Michael Jordan and have your respective university cover all the costs for you, which unfortunately also did not happen for me. Don't get me wrong, I killed it in grade school and definitely had the test scores and GPA to land that big scholarship to help get me through. I just unfortunately got turned down for that opportunity. That's besides the point, however. At the end of the day, colleges will eat your wallet alive if you're not loaded, and you're likely to be left paying it off until your 30s or 40s like I'm going to be. Another factor to these scholarships is you're expected to be a completely straight arrow. If you manage to go the first 4 years of your life away from your family and parents without doing something stupid or messing up somehow, congrats to the 1% of you guys. To the other 99% of us, including me, you're going to more than likely do something stupid, and you're going to get yourself into some trouble in college. Depending on the severity, however, this isn't that big of a deal. But still remember, just because you're going to mess up eventually doesn't give you the right to drop all morals and potentially hurt someone else in the process. Go have fun, go be a dumb college kid, but please be smart about your stupidity, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Lastly, I want to talk about the potential disappointment of earning a college degree. 20 years ago, yeah, sure. I'm sure a college degree could have gotten you a great post-grad job. Nowadays, however, that's just not reality. Employers expect more out of you, and a simple bachelor's degree just doesn't cut it anymore. Take me as a shining example. I won't rant about it too much. I already have another video on my channel for that. But just know that college degree equals adult job sermon that they preach to you over and over and over again when you're growing up is actually much more complicated, and you could still end up working at McDonald's or a local gas station or wherever whenever you graduate, and it doesn't really matter whether you want to or not. So now all that remains is the big question that you maybe clicked on this video hoping I'd answer for you. Do I recommend going to college? The truth is, it really depends. For the friends, memories, and life experience you'll gain, absolutely 1000% I recommend it. I wouldn't trade that for the world. For the education, however, maybe, I've seen friends and colleagues gain connections and opportunities of a lifetime because of their college education. I've also seen friends and people like me go absolutely nowhere in life despite completing their college education. You've honestly just got to do the research yourself and see what kind of job is readily available in your local market, and decide for yourself if that's something you're truly willing to pursue at a higher education level. At the end of the day, I don't regret going to college. As much as it hurts, and as much as I complain about not getting a high-paying job, just like all the adults in your life preach that you will, I made memories of a lifetime, and I had the social life I completely missed out in high school. And that's the time of my life I'll never ever forget. Let me know down in the comments what your college experience was like. If you haven't attended college but you're planning to, let me know down below what you're thinking of attending and why. As always, y'all, this has been P Hands, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace, man.